I spent the whole M on some clothes. Got a bonus, I sold out the show. Got like a pot on the stove. Yellow AP on all of my. I like when that wet on the toes. Picture me riding around in that rose. I put some ice on my wrist, it was swole. Still ain't got time with you.
From the oldest capital city in the Americas, founded in 1325, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Mexico City. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the New Orleans Saints and our home team. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. They'll come out throwing here on first down. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. How big is that penalty? Wipe out the INT.
You'd hate to be the teammate that caused that penalty and wiped out the interception. You got to face that guy in the locker room. Not a lot of fun for you, and you hurt your squad.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. On the carry, this is Scott. Oh, able to avoid him. And he'll get this out past the 45 to the 47. Yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Here we go. 3-19.
The first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a third and about 3 to go. He'll look to throw. Buying time to his left. He may try and run for this. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first. They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to throw it deep to the other side of the field. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Watch it now, Barney. Barney. Hurry up, here we go.
They'll look to throw here. And that one almost intercepted. Call it a 50-50 ball. It falls incomplete, and now 3rd down.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead.
Lucky 56. Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Back to throw here. The open man is Smith. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Leopard. Leopard.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. They still, and time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
Watch it now, Barney. Barney. Gun, gun. Gun, gun. Over, 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 over.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Wow, so wipe out the INT roughing the passer. What a disaster.
An absolute disaster, and you hope their lockers are not right next to each other for the postgame. Safe to say one is not buying the other dinner.
And they've got another 1st and 10 as the penalty keeps this drive moving.
All right, now, look at 56. Lucky 56. Gone, 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 gone.
Again, this is Kamara. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something...
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And fortunately, he's able to reel it back in, but it's going to go down as a big loss here on the play.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession.
Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gone, gone. Gone, gone.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. He'll air it out deep for Thomas. And that one incomplete. Had some position, but couldn't hold on, and it brings up fourth down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let him play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal. Please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
They go play action here on first down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Gone, 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 gone.
Second quarter now. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis with you. It's the Ravens who have the football. On third down, Jackson. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this is caught at the 20. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. A big play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Ravens are in for 6. And that time, he came out of the slot for that big play downfield for the score.
I think what we just saw there, partner, is what we call scheming a guy open. Put him in the slot, know that he has tremendous speed. What you're doing with your other receivers is likely running shorter routes to draw the attention closer to the line of scrimmage, to give him a chance to get downfield and turn it into a one-on-one route, often against the safety. You like your odds when he's running against the safety. His speed usually wins, and it did on that play.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay. I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Looking to throw. Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that pushes the lead up to 11. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And fresh off the pick 6, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
It all comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
It's deep in there, right? Yeah.
Gone!
They begin on the ground with Kamara, looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage.
Detroit!
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Watch him now, Barney! Detroit! Gone!
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. He rifles one that's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 47. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. Charles, did I just hear that right? They declined the personal foul. 3 yards, they just declined it.
And I have to think that the official is thinking to himself, did I just hear that correctly, that you declined that one? All I can think of is that someone on the field got confused.
Must have.
It had to, because you're going to take the yards on that penalty each and every time.
They run with Harris. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Hot. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now Jackson on first down. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. In for the score, and the Ravens will extend their lead.
Boy, that route is really tough to cover because if they're running it correctly, you think it's really going to be a slant.
Yeah, well, we talk all the time about how it's tough to execute offensively, but you're saying, don't forget, it's tough to cover for the defense, too.
Yeah, the number one thing that you're taught is to not get caught inside or get beat inside. So you guard that a little bit more. So that gives you a little bit more space to operate outside if you start your move initially inside if you're a receiver.
And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. Second down. The target that time, Michael Thomas. And it's second down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
Detroit! Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. He's going to air one out. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
The Saints on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit! Detroit!
They're going to look to throw. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Gun, gun! Gun, gun! Set! Green 39! Green 39! Gun, gun! Gun, gun!
After the interception, here's Jackson. And a loose football. The Saints say they have it, and they do.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And space opened up a bit. He's able to take this up past the 10. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. They'll set up to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. So a minute 56 to play in this first half. Back with more after this. The Saints on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll set up a throw. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line. It's It's a sack.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. Now hit it, and he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. And now the Saints are going to take a timeout on defense as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39. Detroit. Detroit. Gun, gun. Gun, gun.
Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They go play action with Jackson. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. And the Saints signal for another timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So from their own end zone here, this kicks away. Let's take it inside his own 40. Now a hit and a loose football. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
I remember sitting in special teams meetings, and at some point during the meeting, the coach would always say, you better treat this one just like you're playing offense or defense. It's a big part of the game, and we just saw evidence of why right there with that fumble.
Yeah, fumble on the punt, and after it was turning up to be a pretty decent return.
Yeah, a really nice return. They were going to be set up okay, and the offense would feel good running onto the field. And now the defense has to try it out there and try and slow them down.
And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored 1, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off down near the 5.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Over the middle, open is Thomas. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks. Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's going to air one out. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. A first opportunity upcoming in the red zone for the Saints. They've got a 1st and goal to go at the 7.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39. Detroit. Detroit. Watch it now, Barney. Barney. Hot.
Now flags will come in. And I think this is against the Saints up front. That false start knocks them back behind the 10 now as they'll try again. 1st and goal.
Detroit! Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gun, gun! Gun, gun! Gun, gun! Gun, gun!
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Being chased out left. He gets away from one. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down. Here's 2nd and goal, operating from the 8-yard line.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gun, gun! Gun, gun! Gun, gun! Gun, gun!
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. An abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. So we're at halftime here in the Inner Harbor with the hometown Ravens on top. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the 2nd half. This one fielded at the 5. Able to get away.
That's why you keep the legs churning.
Accelerating, and off he goes.
All right, let's give credit where credit is due. How about that return? Great blocking, great vision, all the way down to the 2-yard line. The only person who has to be upset, the guy who didn't get it into the end zone. That far and no reward.
Point after, right down the middle. And they open the lead up now to 25. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the 2nd half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But this is I'm doing
it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the 2nd half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for him. He sets to fire deep, and that's caught inside the 30. A big-time play there for New Orleans. And even 50 yards. And at this stage, down in the 2nd half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
Back 99 Philly, here we go. Gun, 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 gun.
from the shotgun. He'll look to throw. Dancing to his, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
And because they couldn't hit the long field goal, they are set up nicely offensively at the 41, 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. Green 39, green 39.
They'll start on the ground with Harris. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage.
All right, now look at 56.
No gain on the play there, 2nd down. He had a great read there from his free safety position. And, Charles, you know with those guys, it's all about their eyes. They have to be laser-focused.
Yeah, I had to fake my way through it when I was playing, but now I can see exactly what they're doing. And on that play, he obviously had no presence to feel like he's being pushed for a pass. And without that, that allowed him to get up to the line of scrimmage and hold him to no gain.
He's going to fire one deep left sideline. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th. Well, they haven't had a whole lot of success in the passing game here. Now, in the second half, he's thinking, I guess maybe just take a shot deep.
I think you're right. Almost looking for a bailout, isn't he? Can my receiver go up and make a big play for me? Can I create a penalty downfield, maybe pick up an interference call and get that yardage downfield? Anything trying to get going again, but you're right. He definitely took a shot.
All right, now lucky 56, lucky 56. All right, now lucky 56, lucky 56. Hot! Hot!
They'll try to get the offense going with Kamara. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
On play action, they'll throw. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16.
Watch it now, Barney, Barney. Gun, 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 gun. Gun, 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 gun.
They'll drop to throw. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great effort there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Saints get a bit closer. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
This fielded at the 2. And they're going to have good starting field position. He's out of bounds, but not before he's across the 35. And the Ravens taking the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 38.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
A handoff to Harris to begin the drive. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Well, usually you don't think of the cornerback coming in for a no-gain play, but that's what we had there. Nice tackle.
Yeah, and how about the range, too, coming from the outside part of the play.
And he's taken down here by the Saints.
Like how they've started the third quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their second win coming out of the locker room. The Ravens on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18.
All right, here we go.
Here's Jackson to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. And he'll take this in at the 1-yard line. That looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And the Saints will have a short field in front of them. They take over here, 1st and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gone, gone. Gone, gone.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. There he goes inside the 30 and down to the 29-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him... And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it.
Back now in Mexico City. It's the Saints who hold the football, but they're trailing as we begin the 4th quarter of play. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack.
Gone, gone. Gone, gone. Watch it now, Barney. Barney. Detroit. Detroit.
Back to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 19. And he will take this all the way up past the 40-yard line. He's on quite the interception run. He had 2 last week, another one here. Remember, he's not a DB, he's a linebacker.
But how many of those linebackers started as DBs and pumped themselves up into being linebackers? So the ball skills are the same, right? The coverage skills and responsibilities are the same, and he is paying it off in a big, big way.
Set. Green 39. Green 39. Hot.
Play action. It's Jackson. He's going to wind up and air it out. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down. Despite the lead here in the 4th, they're still taking shots.
Not content to sit on this lead at all. And to me, it raises the question of what's right in this game nowadays. Do you sit on the ball and run it because you have enough of a lead? Or do you try and extend it because you always feel like the other team can come back?
Extend it. Have some fun. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90. Hot.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Jackson. And that's caught inside the 35. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people are thinking about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Now let's go.
Jackson on 1st down. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. He was looking for Brashad Perriman, and that'll bring up second down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Jackson. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Coverage there by Von Bell.
Now, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away. Turned into a nice play.
The Ravens on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 10. Jackson will throw again. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This is taken at the 3. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
He's going to go deep for Conley, and he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, 3rd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. He'll look to throw. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Set! Blue 90! Blue 90! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Steps away to his left. Now he's going to let it go deep left side. And this is going to be incomplete. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And now, boy, the ball's going to go over on downs here inside the 10-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example. And now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate.
And he will force his way into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. A great play there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Ravens will add on to their lead. Now the try here for the extra point. Extra point right down the middle. And that'll increase their lead to 28. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Forced out to his left. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
On 2nd down, Kamara. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone! 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 Gone!
They'll look to throw. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. They're already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down.
All right, here we go. Blue 90! Blue 90! Gone! 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 Gone!
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And the pressure gets to him again. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. They go play action here on 1st down. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. All told, it's an even 30 and a 1st down. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Over, 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 over. Detroit, Detroit.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. He's going to let it fly. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at 2nd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Watch him now, Barney, Barney. Detroit, Detroit. Gun, 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 gun.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Buying time to his left. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Nowhere to go downfield, but he's able to get out of bounds and stop the clock here with a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Watch him now, Barney, Barney. All right, now, lucky 56, lucky 56.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. I think you'd agree that looked like the right call from up here.
No doubt about it. What everyone has to understand is that the officials are going to be right on the play each and every time. You may not like the call, but they're usually spot on.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39, green 39.
They're going to look to throw. And now here is another interception. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Despite the late lead, Jackson to throw. He's going to fire one deep. And got his man complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A gain of 39 that time.
And they just hit another big completion there. And I think in days gone by in the NFL, you might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people feel the same way nowadays.
The age-old argument. Then you could say on the other side, if you're going to get angry about it, stop. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Now before this 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Detroit, Detroit.
Jackson. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
He's going to float this one deep right side. That's going to be caught. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. This is taken at the 3. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
They'll look to throw here. On the check down, he finds Kamara. Takes this one up past the 20 after he's able to make a man miss. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. That'll be their third and final stoppage here as we step aside.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Hey, we got 4. Over. Detroit.
He'll drop to throw. And my goodness, another interception. He's picked off just shy of midfield. And what a return as he brings this one all the way back to the 25-yard line. Well, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw? And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Marcus Williams. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the home team here, they get win number 10 on the year as they move to 10-1. And now it's off to the airport for a date with customs and a long flight north to the U.S. Meanwhile, for the Saints, they've fallen out of things now as they sink to 3-8. They'll be off to Minneapolis next week for a look at new U.S. Bank Stadium and a date with the Vikings. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next.